Hello guys, welcome back to the Geosphere. Today I'll be interacting with you on the last topic of the video series on contributions of various geographers. So the Russian geography, there are four aspects to it. There are no godfathers or fathers of Russian geography. Particularly because there was no break like in other countries. We had a break in Germany, Humboldt and Ritter after they died. And similarly, Ratzel and Richthofen and Hettner, when they moved away, then there was a break. But in Russia, they were neither any of these single stalwarts or any other schools of thoughts which came and left. So geography in Russia grew very steadily without any break. And the other aspect after the Russian Revolution, after 1917, the evolution of geography came to a halt. All the earlier concepts which were brought in by some of the geographers were lost. The environmental determinism and the man and human environment interaction, everything, all the scholars who were dwelling on these topics had no other option but to fall in line with the Marxism idea of economic determinism. So it is not that there were no geographers at all before 1917, but after 1917 everything developed in and around the concept of Marxism, of the economic determinism, etc. So the notable geographers before 1917, we can start with Peter the Great Russian Tsar, who ruled for a very long time and had a lot of appreciation for the development of science, including geography. In fact, he invited Alexander van Humboldt to explore and do the expeditions towards the west of the Ural Mountains, so that precious metals and also the fur could be discovered and made use of for their economic purpose. So that way he gave a very open house to all the geographers to come and contribute. So that phase of geography in Russia was quite eventful, and it led to a lot of appreciation and establishment of geography as a discipline in some of the universities. And then the next one you cannot ignore is the Lomonosov, who advanced the schemes of regional geography and a lot of mapping and a collection of data, etc. So his contribution is also notable. And of course, the most important contribution was from Peter Kropotkin, whose mutual aid and social ecology, two of the very important concepts emerged, and they sustained the concepts sustained for a very long time, and he was one of the most popular geography figures in the development of geography in the Russia. Of course, there was also one more geographer, particularly, who laid a lot of stress on the soil profile, the soil formation, and the factors leading to the soil formation. He was Dokoshev. This Dokoshev soil profile continued to be in the textbooks for a very long time because it gave a very advanced science relating to the formation and the various factors leading to the formation of soils. This Kropotkin has two theories related to the mutual aid and social ecology. Please kindly be well informed. There can be a short note on this because this was not only popular, but now this concept of social ecology is again evolving. So this for Peter the Great, Lomonosov, the Peter Kropotkin and Dokoshev, these four are notable Russian geographers. I will just show you some slides relating to their specific contributions. So coming to the contribution of Soviet geographers, the Peter the Great, who ruled Russia as a Russian Tsar for a long time, was keen on science and technology and geography. So, and with the advantage of a very vast expanse of the Russian Empire, it was a potent factor in the development of geography as an institutionalized discipline. Government also appreciated the need for accurate geographical information and encouraged a lot of expeditions for search of furs and precious metals. Humboldt was invited to do the expeditions to the west of the Ural Mountains. And the classical tradition of geography continued for a very long time in this vast Russian Empire without any break, unlike in other countries where there was a pause or a break whenever great contributors like Humboldt or Ritter or Ratzel disappeared from the scene. There was a sudden break, and it took some time for the amateur geographers to develop, and later on some excellent geographers took it forward or brought in new concepts. But in Russia it was a continuous spirited classical tradition of geography which continued without any break, but unlike in the other countries, it's very difficult to pick one father figure or a grand old man of Russian geography. While this advantage of a continuous evolution of geography existed, but soon after the Russian Revolution, there was a serious jolt. Like everything else in the country, the new regime and these geography scholars were required to bring in their ideas in line with the ideas of Marx and follows. That is, they were strong advocates of economic determinism. So all the environmental determinism, physical determinism, cultural determinism had all got to merge as economic determinism. And natural environment did not play any important or important part in shaping the life of human communities. Geography was isolated, and particularly because they also had this handicap of language barrier. So owing to this, whatever happened after 1917 was hardly anything to note, except for some conceptual development of geography by a few geographers before 1917. So one of them we can't forget is a very notable geographer, particularly with reference to his new concept of mutual aid and also social ecology. His name was Peter Kropotkin. He was instrumental in developing these concepts and taking geography to a different level, particularly with reference to it as a discipline. And he said that this geography as a subject should not be used for exploitation or towards colonization, etc., but it should be used as a pure science, and it should be even taught at the elementary school level. And also the contributions of Lomonosov and Dokoshev, which we'll look into each of them. Lomonosov is considered to be the first officially named head of the world's the Russian Academy of Sciences. He persuaded the state authorities to charge the exploring parties with the task of collecting systematic information and also do regional surveys and mapping of data. Though the Russians were entrusted with these kind of works through the state support, they had depended heavily on the expertise of Germany and France to carry out these works. Then Peter Kropotkin, he wrote many books, pamphlets, and articles, including in the encyclopedias. His one main contribution was the mutual aid, which as a factor of evolution. He argued that it was an evolutionary emphasis on cooperation instead of competition in the Darwinian sense that made for the success of species, including the human. And then his way of treatment of geography was much kinder, and his concepts were also much gentler, and had a lot of social weighing and social cause. He used many real-life examples in an attempt to show that the main factor in facilitating evolution is cooperation between individuals in free associated societies and groups without central control of authority. And then in course of developing his concept of mutual aid among organisms and human groups, Kropotkin laid the foundation for a radical theory of social ecology. He viewed nature and social groups as organic wholes, so that the action of the part affected different parts as well. He considered social groups as being subject to many of the same processes as are found in organic nature. But more importantly, he argued that human communities should discover laws of nature in organisms and act in accordance with those laws. So all that Kropotkin meant was that human intervention should be based on a proper understanding of nature and with due regard so as not to unsettle the balance. He said mere legislation will not help in improving the man-environment relationship or awareness. It is for the citizen to have a focused sense of community and also love for that place. So he firmly believed that rootedness, that firm rootedness in a particular environment will foster greater human interaction and a more intimate relationship with one's surroundings rather than just pushing something on the citizen or through legislation. So he also thought what geography ought to be, and he laid emphasis on teaching geography at the elementary school level. According to him, owing to its potential to capture the imagination of children, geography was most eminently suited to serve this most important objective of education of the young and to inculcate in them mutual respect for communities and other nations. So Dokoshay is the first geographer in Russia who brought in the importance of soil science. He clearly elaborated the factors, the causes, and also the how the soil profile developed from the old parent material. So that's all, guys, and these contribution of these four geographers you please remember. And now we will move on further with understanding Harshon, Scoffer debates, and other chapters from R.D. Dixit and Majid Hussain and others. So stay safe, stay focused, study well, and go and crack the mains exam. So bye guys, we'll catch up soon.